Welcome to How She Heals, your 5-part video series where I walk you through the practical steps to reclaiming your soft feminine energy despite all of the exhausting masculine demands in your life. So if you're a woman who feels like you've lost your way and need a little bit of help coming home to your soft feminine self, then this video and the whole 5-part series is for you. By the end of this video, you're going to have so many simple and easy to implement things that you can either incorporate into or eliminate from your life, which will allow you to finally start living the version of your life that feels good and in alignment to you. Before we start, I created a workbook to go along with this video series. It is comprehensive and allows you to actually dig deep, apply what you're learning in this series so that way you can make real change in this area of your life. It's totally free and will be super helpful in helping you become more aligned with your feminine energy. So in this video, which is part 3 of the How She Heals series, by the way, we're talking about the fun and practical steps that you can take to start healing your wounded feminine energy. These are the small but mighty tips. They are, like I said, easy to implement and simple but impactful. I will say there's definitely some deeper, more long-term inner work that you're also going to have to do to heal your feminine energy, but that's not what this video is. That's going to be part 5. This video is the simple, quick things that you can do today, like within the next 5 minutes of finishing this video. So for now, let's focus on these more lighthearted yet extremely effective practices. The first is to slow down, avoid overstimulation, and invite some silence into your life. Feminine energy is very calm and peaceful, and you cannot be in that present flow state that is so critical to feminine energy if you are constantly bombarded with noise and information and overstimulation. And we're going to talk more about intuition in an upcoming video in the series, so I'm not going to dig deep into it, but you cannot hear your intuition or your inner self speak to you and show you what you need or what you truly want in life if it's constantly being talked over by podcasts, YouTube videos, news articles, music. There's a time and a place for all of those things, but constantly is not the time, and anywhere and everywhere is not the place. Having so much stimulation and input in your brain is not conducive to honoring your feminine energy. Similarly, that applies to rushing through life, hurrying, constantly rushing from one thing to the next. The feminine energy is slow, calm, cool, collected. She breezes through life with ease, and rushing and hustling from one thing to the next is, again, not conducive with that feminine energy. So slow down, invite some silence into your life, and that alone will have a tremendous impact on you becoming more realigned with your feminine energy. Next is to romanticize anything and everything, especially in relation to embracing sensory. So things like lighting candles or diffusing essential oils or stopping to pause and smell your cup of coffee, or putting on low jazz music. I know that we just talked about not constantly having things in your brain, but something like jazz in the background isn't the same as listening to an audiobook at 3 times speed. I don't know anyone who would ever do that. Me, before I healed my wounded feminine energy. To romanticize the things in your life means literally anything and everything. It's about pulling as much joy and enjoyment out of every single thing that you do. It's giving yourself 10 extra minutes in the morning to get ready so that way you can luxuriate and give yourself a face massage while you're putting in your face moisturizer, or taking a little bit more time on your makeup because you think it's therapeutic and it makes you feel artistic. Or putting a salt lamp in your bathroom and using that to get ready for bed at night rather than your big bright overhead light. I was recently on a plane, and an example of how I romanticize that experience is I was reading a Harry Potter fan fiction. Yes, it is amazing. If you want to know more about it, let me know down below. I'm getting off topic, but I have 2 amazing Harry Potter fan fiction books that I have loved, and if you want to know what those are, just shoot me a comment and we'll talk about it. But in my headphones, I listen to the Harry Potter instrumental soundtrack, you know the one. do, 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 do. And if you've seen the movies, you would like recognize it right away. It's just like so quintessential Harry Potter. But that's just a tiny little thing that I did that allowed me to tune out the airplane noise and really like fully immerse myself in the experience. You can romanticize dinner with your family by lighting a couple candles on the table, or taking an extra 5 minutes to set the table with nice placemats. Teach yourself how to make your favorite latte at home rather than your typical drip coffee. It's these tiny little glimmers of magic that we can add into our everyday life that nurture our feminine energy so much. Next is to lean back. And we talked about this a lot in part 2 in the polarity in relationships video as it relates to our romantic partnership. But lean back in every area of your life. And the best thing about leaning back is that it's not about doing anything, it's about doing less. Don't be the first one to volunteer to make 100 cupcakes for your kids' school. Don't volunteer to be the lead planner on your friend's bachelorette trip. Let your sister-in-law host Thanksgiving this year. Even lean back where appropriate when it comes to caregiving for your children. Obviously, please take care of your children. That's not what I'm saying. But, as little kids grow up and they get a little older, they can help with more things that we find hard to let go of control of because we have been operating in our masculine energy. And we have been maybe a little too controlling and needing everything to be our way. Last weekend, I was folding some laundry before my son woke up, and he woke up earlier than I expected him to, but I still wanted the laundry to be put away. And he just turned 3, so 3-year-old boys, they're tornadoes. But rather than feeling frustrated at the fact that I wouldn't be able to get the laundry away, I just brought him in here with me and I dumped all the socks on the floor and I just said, separate these, see how many pairs you can match. Not only did it keep him occupied, but I got some help because, shock of my life, my 3-year-old can actually pair and roll up socks together. And I was able to lean back as far as my control is and also help. That was obviously like a very little helpful thing, but it's just a tiny example of if you take those little micro doses of help anywhere that you can in your life, you really can lean back significantly. All those little micro help doses, again with my weird analogies, they add up to being able to lean back to the point of it actually having an impact on your life. Speaking of kids, this was life-changing for me. Figure out what you like to do with your children and prioritize that. Take your kids to the apple orchard or the pumpkin patch rather than the same park that you go to every weekend with the hundreds of screaming kids. Or if you would rather hit yourself on the head with a monster truck than play with one ever again, then pull out a puzzle and do that with your kid. Figure out the things that you enjoy, and the thing about kids, they love you so much and their love language is play that they will want to do just about anything with you. So figure out what you like to do with your kids. 9 times out of 10, they will be over the moon to do that thing with you. Next is to go out of your way to be kind. And of course, that's a good practice for every single person on this planet. But as a woman who's trying to heal your wounded feminine energy, when you're able to exude that softness and kindness, that immediately puts you in alignment with your feminine energy because the feminine energy is soft. She just is. And when you go out of your way to be especially kind to people, that puts you in that flow state of presence. And of course, it just feels really, really good to make other people feel really nice about themselves. Next is to go outside. Going outside is, again, good for every single human being on this planet, but especially for a woman who's trying to heal her wounded feminine energy. There's so much feminine energy and flow in just being in nature. Think about it, nature is inherently feminine. Nature isn't doing, nature is being. And so when you can be one with nature, I don't mean like getting down and rubbing your face in the dirt, but when you can just go for a walk where there's some trees, maybe some flowers. There won't be any flowers where I live for the next 6 months, but that's besides the point. I'm not bitter. That will automatically kick you into alignment with your feminine energy, especially if you don't bring your headphones and you just look around and you listen to the birds chirping and you literally stop and smell the roses or the pine trees. I don't know where you live or what time of year it is. Similarly to leaning back, you'll want to offload and outsource as much as possible. Anything that you can delegate to anyone else in your family, or anything that you can hire out, or a service you can pay for, or just simply stop doing, you should definitely take advantage of, because again, we're trying to get away from the doing. So either delegate things to other people in your family or invest some money into outsourcing. The feminine energy can only thrive if it feels safe and free. And a big impact on this is our environment. And when I say safe, I don't mean just having locks on your doors. I mean, your feminine energy needs to feel safe to come home to an organized, tidy, clean home. And I do give a caveat to this, because for some people, I mean, cleanliness is obviously a non-negotiable for everyone. But for some people, they feel most authentically themselves when they have a lot of stuff and clutter, for lack of a better word, around them. And that's beautiful. And if that's your vibe and if that's what makes you feel really good, then embrace it. If that's what makes your feminine energy feel like it's lit on fire in the best way possible and feel safe to come home to, then please do that. Because remember, feminine energy is mostly about authenticity and the freedom to be your truest authentic self. But for a lot of us, our feminine energy feels safest and like it is free to come out in a space that is simple and tidy and clean and organized. So it's very important that you prioritize your physical space as much as you do anything else when it comes to honoring your feminine energy. Prioritize your female friendships and do things together that help activate your feminine energy. So rather than calling up a friend to go for greasy burgers and to watch a horror movie, which is going to shoot your cortisol levels through the roof, call up a girlfriend, invite her to walk to your favorite coffee shop that sells the best lavender latte, and go for a walk in nature together. Or dress up, go for espresso martinis, and then do a little shopping or get a pedicure together. Whatever. The point is to prioritize your female friendships that make you feel in alignment with your feminine energy and that you feel safe with. Not all women will do that for you, but it's about prioritizing time with the female friendships that do make you feel more aligned with your feminine energy and doing things together that make you feel more aligned with your feminine energy. And that might just be inviting her over for a glass of wine on your couch while you guys are just vulnerable with each other and have that female connection. And it is so important that you create morning and evening routines that act as anchors in your day to reset or start your day with feminine energy activation. When you can start and end your day from a place where you are prioritizing yourself and putting yourself into a calm state where you feel aligned with your feminine energy, the benefits of anchoring yourself in that way right before you go to bed and right when you wake up in the morning will have a profound impact on your whole day, every day. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you all the things that you must include in an AM and PM routine. That's not the point. The point is to identify the things that you have time for. Maybe you need to make some adjustments in other areas of your life so that way you can prioritize these times. But figure out what you have time for and what makes you feel really good. And when I say good, I mean aligned with your feminine energy and calm, because that is the state that we should start and end every single one of our days. Don't forget to grab your workbook. It's completely free in the link down below. So go download it right now before you forget. And be sure to subscribe and check out the playlist here so you don't miss any of the videos in the How She Heals 5-part series. Next up, we're talking about how to truly take care of and prioritize yourself. And we're not just talking about taking bubble baths and doing face masks, because true self-care goes way deeper than that. And if you want to dig deeper, I am hosting a 10-day feminine energy reset challenge. You can learn all about it in the link down below. It's where we're going to dig deeper into everything that we learned about in this How She Heals series and so much more, because healing your wounded feminine energy is a process. So I've developed a specific process in a strategic and sequential way that will allow you to finally heal for real. I've literally broken down and guided you along every step of the way to tell you exactly what you need to do and how in order to finally feel like your soft feminine self again. Because there's only so much that I can do in a 20-minute YouTube video like this, and this is a one-way conversation. This is just me talking to you. Whereas this challenge is going to be interactive. I'm going to be doing Q&As. There's going to be a community aspect where you can bond with other women, learn from, share with. And my favorite part is because I am such a practical and tactical person, there is homework assignments, because you can learn the theory all you want, but at the end of the day, you need to do. Which is very ironic in a video series where we're talking about feminine energy, which is where we want to get away from the doing. But this is an area where the doing will actually help enhance that feminine energy. So if you want to learn about it, you can learn more down below on that link. Stay aligned.